Hey dudes, OverTheGun here on the topic of Dark Souls. Now, I've talked to quite a lot of people about Dark Souls. A lot of you all know my opinion on Dark Souls, and that it is, in my opinion, the best game of this console generation, hands down. In my opinion, and it took me by surprise when Dark Souls came out. Seriously did, because I don't have a PS3, so I'd never played Demon Souls. I'd only seen footage around on YouTube of Demon Souls, and I thought, you know what, that looks like a pretty cruel mistress does that game. Looks good. Because you know what I'm like, I like all my tough games, my challenging games, like I want to be the guy and Meat Boy and Dark Souls and all that kind of jazz. I think I like them tough because I like the reward. You know, when a boss beats the fuck out of you, when you beat the fuck out of that boss back, it always feels nice and rewarding when it was tough. You know, when they give it to you, it feels empty. So I love these kind of tough games, and Dark Souls, and assumably Demon Souls. I heard Demon Souls was a smidge harder, or a bit harder. Dark Souls got slightly reined in a little bit, but fuck me, it was still hard. Jesus Christ. People, yeah, some people thought they say like Dark Souls is easy. It's like fuck me, are we playing the same game here? it's it's not easy to me. I'm sure if you've played the shit out of Demon Souls, then Dark Souls is probably a lot more comfortable than what Demon Souls were. But to me, Dark Souls was like tough. It fucking was, and I just love that game. Like I said, in my opinion, it's the best game of this generation. I was My Xbox last year was starting to collect a lot of dust. I was starting to think, you know, I almost regret buying this motherfucker. And Dark Souls reinvigorated the 360 for me, and since then, man, I've fucking bought like dozens almost of games. Especially if you include XBLA, you know, like arcade games, stuff like that. Yeah, I have bought dozens of games since Dark Souls. So, in actual fact, quite a lot of companies owe Dark Souls a lot of money because I wouldn't have bought games if for the free. It'd have just been collecting dust still now, probably, if it hadn't been for Dark Souls. So, as you can tell, I have nothing but praise for this game. There is nothing to really. Well, there is one slight thing I could. I mean, I could save my complaints about Dark Souls for the end, but there's in fact, no complaints. It's like plural, isn't it? You know, complaint. And even then, it's not really that strong of a complaint. So, the only complaint I have about Dark Souls is frame rate issues in certain areas. Now, some people, seriously, my frame rate issues differ quite wildly from other people's frame rate issues. It's strange. Maybe it's because I've got an Xbox S edition or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of it is. It was basically the last revision of the original Xbox 360 before the new Xbox 360 came out. You know, the slightly more angular one. I can't remember what it's fucking called now. But it was the last edition. It was actually the. This is going to annoy a lot of people. Was it the Final Fantasy 13? I can't remember what fucking. In fact, I can have a look at the top of my Xbox. Let's have a look. Final Fantasy X 1, 2, 3. So yes, Final Fantasy 13 edition. You can say, well, why'd you look at your Xbox to find that out? It's got a slight. The top of the hard drive, as you know, that like it's got like a little metal plate sort of thing, and it's got embossed onto that like Final Fantasy 13. It doesn't bother me. I never see it, so it's not a case of like, oh, how can you stand that? I don't see it, and to be honest, it looks quite nice anyway. Final Fantasy 4's quite nice, but a lot of people do not like Final Fantasy 13, which kind of it's a topic for a different time, is that? But I almost do like Final Fantasy 13 because Final Fantasy 13 fans don't like it. But still, I'm not going to get into that. One topic at a time. To one topic at a time. But yeah, my frame rate issues, maybe it's because of the hardware, but they differ quite wildly. A lot of people had problems in Blighttown, I think. Or was it somewhere else? I can't remember. Anyway, they had really massive frame rate issues there. For me, I don't remember that many, other than the actual area itself, I don't remember that much problems in that area. My serious problems were actually in New Londo Ruins, and some of the ladders there, I'd get like, I'm not even joking, 0 frames a second. Like, I was holding up to go up the ladder, but you wouldn't see yourself going up. You wouldn't even get like 1 frame a second or some shit like that. You'd see like a frame every like 2 seconds, and eventually you get to the top of the ladder. It was quite harsh. Luckily, there's no fucking ladder monkeys or anything like that in that game, so not too bad. But yeah, here and there I had some frame rate issues, and that's the only problem with the game really. And to be honest, I say, good job. Don't fucking rein the graphics in just because the consoles are like 7 years old, or however old they are now, or something like that. Fuck that. No, fucking push it. Make the developers, and not the developers, make Make the consoles fucking move forward, man. But yeah, other than a bit of frame rate issues here and there, the game is just fantastic. If you've not played Dark Souls, I'll give you a brief rundown of it. 5 minutes into the video. It's a third person, I would consider it action RPG sort of deal. I mean, the RPG elements on it, they are there, you know, you get different equipment and, you know, you make your own equipment and you're trying to, like, progress and level up and stuff like that. All the elements for an RPG are there, you know, you're putting into stats and stuff like that, you'd have to gear. It's all decent shit. But the action is what sells me on Dark Souls, and to be honest, the action is... It's not a case of, like, you know, slash action RPG, you know, next thing, slash, like, ding, level up. It's not like that at all. The combat in Dark Souls is exquisite. It's absolutely fantastic. It's very tactical, very harsh. It's very difficult, especially when you first start playing. It's got a learning curve to it. And like I say, it's very tactical, very like shield based and stuff. I mean, you don't have to use a shield; you can roll around and stuff instead. You know, dodge shit, but be more evasive. But the shield play is just, in my opinion, I've never had as much fun with a shield in a game as what I did in Dark Souls. It's very, very well handled. Like, even the lowliest of enemies can pose a serious threat. Like. And it makes sense, you know, like, you go into a fucking area and there's skeletons and shit like that. Usually skeletons in a game, you know, at least the start area is skeletons. You might see a resurgence of the skeleton army later on and they're actually tough then. But usually skeletons are kind of like fodder out there. They're easy, they drop in no time. Fuck that, no, not in this. Skeletons, if you take them for granted, if you think they're too easy, they will rinse you big time, no worries at all. They will gang up on you. Shit, skeletons do flying leaps from steps and shit to get you. They're smart. They'll circle around you. There's fucking people throwing fireballs and shit at you. They're really, really fucking good. And the combat is just excellent. I mean, the overall world, you know, I draw comparisons to Metroid, Super Metroid personally. I do. You know, where you're almost dropped into this world. And there's a brief story, you know, it sets the stage up for you. But really, there will be little to no contact after you start playing. It sets you into a world and goes, figure it out, motherfucker, and don't expect an helping hand from other people. You know, they might give you some, like, words of advice from time to time. They might sell you something, but don't expect them to help you out. You're in this world on your own. And it gives this atmosphere like you are alone in hostile territory. Like, it's very dangerous, and the combat being as harsh as it is, and the game being as hard as it is, it really, like, the playing to each other, you know, you feel, it is genuinely a hostile place to be. Very, very deadly. Everything is a death trap. Everything. Even the lowliest of enemies can slay you very fucking comfortably. So, like I said, the atmosphere is fantastic. The game looks great. Just no, I just cannot, like I say, other than the frame rate thing, I just cannot fault this game. It's absolutely excellent. I mean, this is old music, man. It came out last year and stuff like that. But there is going to be a PC version this year. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I always thought it was very strange that the PS3 and the 360 got it, but the PC didn't. Now, I almost wonder how it's going to play on the PC, you know, mouse. I mean, I assume there's going to be, like, joypad support, you know, control support. 360 pad style, plug it in, off you go. And if you don't have a 360 pad, seriously, throw down for one for the PC and play Dark Souls, you know, how it was kind of intended. I mean, I've got a Zim 3, which is a mouse and keyboard adapter for the 360, and, you know, I'd like to use mouse and keyboard on the on Dark Souls just to see how it plays. But, to be honest, there's not much need. There really, really is not much need. The game is absolutely well-tuned and absolutely 100% fine on a pad. It's not a case of like, oh, well, you know, it might be a little bit better on mouse and keyboard. I honestly don't see it. I mean, it might be down to preference, but, you know, actual advantage-wise, I can't see any advantage one way or the other. You know, there's a couple of times where it would be nice to be able to, like, when you're running away from something, just flick around 180, see what's behind you, and flick back. So, you know, I can see that as an advantage for the mouse, but other than that, I don't think there's anything else. What puzzles me, though, I'm sure there's a few bits here and there where you need to walk rather than run. Like over beams, like balancing and shit like that. How are they going to handle that on a mouse and keyboard? Because there's no like analog stick, is there? So you can't walk very easy. Maybe just a key for like a walk toggle. Who knows? I'm sure they'll sort it out. But yeah, Dark Souls PC version. I have obviously I have the Xbox version, and I'm still going to buy the PC version, definitely. Because A, it'll give me an excuse to play through again, which I don't. To be fair, I don't need an excuse to play through again. I'm quite happy to play the fucking 360 version again. But yeah, Claire points to herself. She really wants to play it. I mean, you could say, well, can't she play on your 360 version? She can, but the way that I run my 360 is through my PC monitor. It's the only HD TV I've actually got. It's the my monitor is my TV, so it's not ideal, especially for a game as long as Dark Souls. And once you get into it, you're hooked. So it would not be ideal that she's like, I'm fucking dying to play more Dark Souls, but Liam's busy playing on his PC or working away and stuff. So it's not ideal for her at the moment. A PC version will be ideal. But I've read they're adding a few more bells and whistles into the PC version of Dark Souls. Like, I think there's a new area, a new boss, a few more bits of armor and weapons. I assume the matchmaking's probably going to be a bit more reliable, at least when I played on release, probably going to be a bit more reliable than the console versions. I think they've sorted it out a little bit since, from what I've heard. Not like it was a massive problem, but I almost wonder if they're going to seem as though the PC version's like well behind the console versions now. I wonder if they're going to actually let you force your own matchmaking. Like, if I've got a version and Claire's got a version, I can group up with her to do a boss. I wonder if they're going to allow anything like that, like forced cooperative play. I wonder. If you know, feel free to let me know. As always, guys, with these videos, feel free to drop your opinions in the comment section. You're almost expecting me to say, don't forget to add a favourite and a like there as well, aren't you? Fuck that. That's a topic for another day as well. But yeah, looking forward to the PC version, very much so. Very, very much so. And I can't see there being any serious problems with that. Frame rate issues will no doubt be completely resolved when that. Probably look a little bit better overall as well. As long as it's ported correctly, that is. As long as it's ported correctly. There is a caveat in the PC version, however, which people are screaming about. I almost forgot it for a second there, I don't know how. It's going to be using Games for Windows Live. Now, I'm with you all on this. I can't fucking stand Games for Windows Live either. I hate the shit out of it. It's bloaty, it's cumbersome, it doesn't work well at the best of times. It doesn't work well. So yeah, I hate Games for Windows Live as well. But with the way Dark Souls works, I mean, I know this might actually be quite hard to stomach, but with the way that Dark Souls works, I think that even Games for Windows Live will be able to provide a workable environment for Dark Souls. I mean, it's not a case of like, well, I've got to wait like half an hour for matchmaking or it doesn't work right. I mean, the ports issue might be an issue still, but like, I mean, Dark Souls is like, like, quote, matchmaking, end quote, is, it's different than usual. You're not waiting in a lobby, until you can get a game. You're playing. This is what's fucking excellent about Dark Souls. I mean, I'll run into, like, I only briefly described like some of the features of Dark Souls in case you've not played it. I'll run into some more details in a minute. But I mean, matchmaking in Dark Souls, it's like, well, throw down a summoning sign, or look at other people's summoning signs, and then join into their game, or they join into yours for the boss and stuff like that. I think it's maximum 4-player. I think you and 3 other phantoms. So, I think even Games for Windows Live can manage to match you with like 3 other people. Or, well, you only need 1 person, really. You don't have to go with a full complement. So, I think, I mean, like I say, don't get me wrong, I hate Games for Windows Live. I would like to see it dropped entirely, completely dead and buried. And I would certainly not like to see Dark Souls tainted by the unholiness that is Games for Windows Live. Like I said, do not misconstrued. I fucking hate it as well. But to be fair, I think it can handle Dark Souls. I don't know, like I say, I mean, like, with the way the PvP's handled and the way that cooperative's handled, I honestly think that even Games for Windows Live can handle it. I mean, I was playing, was it Project Gotham City was my last encounter with Games for Windows Live, and it wasn't perfect, but it was acceptable. So if it can be acceptable in a first-person game, I'm sure in the way that Dark Souls is handled and the way it runs, I'm sure it's going to be fine, you know, guys. Seriously, I would not let it alter your buying decision. And I would not be, I mean, sign a petition and stuff like that, but seriously, if it happens, it happens. I would not fear that much. Like I say, it remains to be seen, doesn't it? It remains to be seen. But seriously, I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. I really don't. So yeah, other than the Games for Windows Live issue with the PC version, it's looking good, isn't it? It's looking good, a bit of extra content and all that other kind of shit. In fact, Rock Paper Shotgun had a good theory on this, where the extra content might actually come as DLC for the console versions. Who knows? So, I mean, I'd like to think so, because it's otherwise, like, the PC version will be the superior version, of course, which everybody fucking that loves the PC over the consoles is saying, well, yeah, that makes sense, no duh. PC version's always superior, but if only. You know, sometimes, yes, like Skyrim, for example, yes. Minecraft, for example, yes. But not like, I've not even played the Xbox version of Minecraft yet, but still, you know, all the mods and stuff on the PC, they're not going to be coming over as freely on the Xbox and PS3, are they, so... In fact, is it coming out for the PS3? Anyway, no. Stay on topic. that's why I do videos this way now, like discussion and stuff like that, because you know you got to stay on one topic at once. Or that's the idea anyway. I struggle, but yeah, like I say, usually the PC version, at least in theory, should be the PC superior version. But yeah, with shabby, yeah, that's right, shabby ports, it's not always the case. But yeah, looking good for Dark Souls with its PC version. But yeah, to talk more about the actual game itself, the like I say, it really is just fantastic. The combat is just really satisfying and great. You know, when you learn an enemy, you know, you learn like, how that enemy operates. You know, what's the best way to go about it? Is it better to bum rush into the enemy, fuck him over a little bit, wait for him to react, block it or evade it, and then go into it? Or is it best to, you know, kind of like slowly work your way in, let the enemy burn himself out on you, and then counter-attack back? Is that the best way? Is the enemy going to have something that's just going to, you know, shit in your cereal? You know, when you learn an enemy, and then you manage to fight it and lose no health from killing it, it's really satisfying, especially with the bosses as well, when you go from like, I can't even injure this boss, to the point where at the end, you do it almost perfectly. It's a good satisfying feeling. It's just satisfying just getting the boss down period, but actually acing it almost is really satisfying. I think it's just the game in a nutshell. It's incredibly satisfying, it's incredibly difficult, but the difficulty generates satisfaction upon completion. It really does, Like I say, when you get these enemies sussed out, or you get these bosses sussed out, and then you manage to get them down, and it might, like, a boss might take you, like, I mean, some bosses took me anywhere between, like, half an hour to get down, all the way up to about 4 or 5 hours to get down, sometimes more. I'm not even joking. Some of them were incredibly difficult to me. Some people might say, well, that's a long time, you know, like 4 or 5 hours to get a boss down. It didn't take me anywhere near that long for any boss. It's like, well, aren't you fucking great? But for me personally, it was difficult in places. It really was. Coming in with no like previous like Demon Souls experience, it was very hard. It was. Like I think Capra Demon was the first boss that I actually struggled with. It took me a while to get him down. Like maybe only like a couple of hours, maybe. I say only a couple of hours to get a boss down. But that's the game. It's an epic crusade. It really fucking is. And Capra Demon is just horrible. You know, if you don't have like any kind of like decent equipment by then, basically, in a nutshell, like if you don't know what the Capra Demon encounter is, it's basically, if you can imagine a shoebox, and the Capra Demon boss is probably about, I don't know, a fifth the length of the shoebox. So you don't have much room to operate, maybe a bit bigger than a fifth. You don't have much room to move. And it's probably about, I don't know, maybe about half as wide as the shoebox. So like I say, you don't have much room to operate around him. But that's not bad enough, is it? That's not bad enough for Dark Souls. No, what it has to do is it has to throw in a couple of dogs for it as well. So you've got options. Do I kill the dogs first? But then while I'm killing the dogs, which are, like I said, no enemy. It sounds like, oh well, just a couple of shitty dogs. No enemy in this game is a cakewalk, especially at that point. Anyway, so do I kill the dogs, and then have Capra Demon. He's got this huge, gigantic, double-handed kind of fucking sword thing. I think I can't remember. It's summer. He sweeps in large arcs. Anyway, it's been a while since I played. And you kill the dogs, but Capra Demon fucking two-shots you if you're lucky. If you put like points in like vitality and shit, whatever the stat is. Endurance, I think, is the no endurance is its own stat for like blocking and stuff in it and running. I can't remember. Like I say, my memory is a bit rusty. Forgive me. But I think it's vitality is a separate stat actually. But if you've been putting in vitality, it might two-shot you if you're lucky. If not, it's probably gonna fucking one-shot you. So you try to kill the dogs, he kills you. If you try to kill him, the dogs constantly fucking piss on your parade. And the dogs obviously run faster than what the Capra Demon does, so it's a really challenging little fight for that point in the game. And there's a few others that I struggled on as well. I can't remember the ones exactly. Last boss was a bit of an arsehole. But he's actually quite easy if you do him a certain way. Not like I'm going to say how to do him, but I didn't do him that way. I did him a bit more legit than that. I thought, fuck it, at this point I put like about 90 plus hours into the game by the time I got to the end boss. I'm not going to cheese him out. I knew how to cheese him out, but I thought, fuck it, I'm not going to cheese him out. So, like I say, that's a testament to the game. The game is so great, such an epic crusade, that when you get to the end and you know insider information on how to rinse it, you go, no, I'm not ruining my crusade by copping out at the end. Fuck no. I'm going to finish it the same way I've gone through the entire game, with great glory. So, absolutely no, I refuse to cheese him out. But, like I say, the fights can be so fucking tough, but they're really well done and so rewarding. Really, really is. And the class system is done really well as well. There is no serious class, really. You can do as you please. I mean, how does it work now? I mean, there's a rough kind of class at the beginning, but it's not really a class. It's more like... do you know, the biggest difference it seems to make to me is, you know, what fucking armors and, like, what fucking clothes you're wearing to begin with. You know, how your stats start. That seems to make the biggest difference. After that, you do what you fucking please. Like I say, my memory is very fucking rusty. Very rusty. How does it work exactly now? You put your points into stats and shit like that, and then you've got your weapons and stuff, haven't you? Yeah, you got your weapons and stuff. Ah, yes, this is how it works. Yes, sorry guys, I should have jogged my memory a bit more before recording this, but you know, it is how it is. But yeah, you're like say magic. Certain spells of magic will require a certain level of intelligence. So if you don't have the required intelligence, you can't cast the spells. If you put points into intelligence, that's points you're not putting into getting like certain amounts of dexterity or certain amounts of strength. Certain armors and certain weapons require certain strength or certain dexterities. So there is no solid class system really. It's just, you know, like I said, there's classes to start with like Wanderer and Pyromancer and shit like that, but really it's only loose. Like anybody can be a Pyromancer because that works quite differently. Pyromancer, you get like a glove type orb thing, and you level up that weapon, and that determines, you know, how strong your pyromancer spells are and what spells you can do. So really, as long as you've got the money, the souls to spend on it, then anybody can be a pyromancer. But of course, if you spend souls is the currency, by the way. There is no gold; it's all souls, and you get souls from killing shit or various other ways, such as crushing large souls and stuff like that to get souls and shit like that. But you basically you get souls from killing shit, killing bosses, and like I say, various other ways. And then you'll get to a point where you've got enough souls to level up. You go back to a bonfire, which is a fantastic mechanic, and then you can level up. So if you spend your souls to level up your pyromancer, it's not leveling you up. You're not getting any stats from it. So it's balanced in that kind of way. Like anybody can be a pyromancer, but at the same time, you're gonna like it's gonna delay you getting that nice piece of armor, or it's gonna delay you being able to use these certain weapons. So it's all balanced in that kind of respect. Like anybody can be a mage. You could be an heavy armor fucking mage, but at the same time, one thing is going to suffer. Either your intelligence is going to be lower, so you're not going to be able to cast as many or as good as spells as somebody who's just focused on intelligence, or you're going to have a higher intelligence, but your weight limit's going to be lower, so you're going to move slower, or you're not going to be able to equip as good of armors. So it's like I say, it's not a class system really. It's more put your points where you want, and you're developing your own kind of class. So it's got a really good system like that as well. Like I said, the currency in souls, and the magics and the armors and the weapons and the fact that you're making your own class, they all intermingle very well and allow you to have quite a lot of freedom in what you do. To return to the bonfire mechanic, the bonfire is a fantastic mechanic. They're basically checkpoints where it refills all your health, and it basically drops down a save. So you start at a bonfire, and say you go through an area. You're absolutely, at this point, you'd be praying, like, come on, give me a bonfire, for fuck's sake, I need a checkpoint. So when you get to the next bonfire, it kind of like, it saves your progress up to that point, and refills all your health. You can level up and distribute your stats there, and all kinds of other shit. And you've got a bit further in the game. Good stuff. However, it comes with a penalty as well. If you rest at a bonfire and gain your health back and refill your Estus flasks, I'll get into that in a second, then it respawns all the enemies. So it comes with a penalty. You can't just kind of like run from the bonfire, kill like 2 or 3 clusters of enemies, run back, refill, and then just walk back through the area which is now empty. No dice, because it's going to respawn everything. So you need to go from bonfire to bonfire to bonfire, really. So it has this like, a new bonfire, awesome. I needed that. It's really, really, it's so satisfying when you find a new bonfire. It really, really is. And as I said before, they refill your Estus flask as well, which is basically like potions, health potions. They refill your health. So it's a really fantastic. Every mechanic is fantastic, but one mechanic I really, really, really dug. It's fantastic. It's the multiplayer side of it. And the multiplayer side of it comes in many, many facets, really. It's very different to your average kind of RPG. Now, at its core, Dark Souls is a single-player RPG. It really is. But at the same time, you never feel alone in Dark Souls. It's very strange. From time to time, you'll see, like, phantoms and ghosts just run past you. Or maybe you're sat at a bonfire and you'll see somebody walk up to the bonfire like a ghost and sit down. And that's another player, is that, in their own world, sitting down at the bonfire or going off. Sometimes you'll see a phantom, he'll just run straight through a wall and you're like, eh? I mean, I know you're a phantom, like, but shit. In your game, you must be solid. You're not a ghost in your game, so what happened there? So you'll go up to that wall and you'll go, well, I can't walk through it, and you'll try it, and it'll reveal it like it's a magic wall after you've struck it. So you can walk through now, and you're like, well, that's fucking sweet. This guy in another game who knew that secret has just pretty much unknowingly told you about that secret as well. Fantastic mechanic. Like, the first time I really saw somebody reveal something to me, it was at the second for people that have played the game, you've got that first area, and then you go to what's going to be your home for the rest of the game now, pretty much, that new area. So, Firelink Shrine, that's the word I was looking for. Firelink Shrine. You've got Firelink Shrine, and then you've got the first bonfire after that once you get into the shit. And people know what I'm talking about. That first bonfire actually in the shit. It's like a war. Seriously, that's why I can say it's like in the shit. You're in a war. And there's like a ladder. And when you first see the ladder in your game, there's only like half the ladder. It's kind of like retracted is the ladder. And I saw somebody kind of like climb down the ladder. And I was like, oh. I didn't even see the ladder to begin with. I just saw somebody climbing down the wall, and I investigated it. And then I saw like the top half of the ladder, like, oh, well, I assume at some point I'm going to get to the top of that ladder, and then the ladder's going to drop down and link to this. Like I say, very Metroidish, Metroidvania, with the way that things link around. You complete an area, you complete another area, and before you know it, hey, I've been here before, but now there's a new area, a new way to get back to this area and stuff like that. Very cool. But yeah, the phantoms and the ghosts are really excellent, and like I said, that's one sort of like string of the multiplayer burr. Other areas, other sides of it are like summoning people. You can put down like a summoning sign, and people can go up to that in their game, and they'll see this little like glowing sign on the floor, and they'll go, "Oh, well, yeah, go on then. I'll join you," and they'll get a reward if basically they help you to clear a boss or an area, and if you're successful, they'll get a reward as well as you. So you got that element to it, you know, like the cooperative side of it. Also, there's quite a varied PvP side to it. I'm not going to go into all the sides of the PvP because there's quite a few, but you know, people can invade your game. 1 minute you're alright, next minute, holy shit, somebody's in my game. In your single player RPG game, somebody's now invading it and they're after you. Quite nasty, quite nasty. There's only certain areas and certain times and stuff like that can happen, but it can be quite like, what the fuck? There's also like certain areas of the game where if you're aligned to a certain covenant, if somebody goes into area and starts killing NPCs, you'll get summoned. Like, hey up, you know, you're in this covenant and your covenant's being attacked. Do you want to come and defend it? Sure enough, I'm like, yeah, fuck me, I'm up for some PvP. I'm there every fucking time. So there's a big. It's like it's overall game is just a combination of things that you ain't seen before. Like I said, the multiplayer is so much more different. As a single player RPG, it's not a single player RPG, and it's not a multiplayer RPG either. It's both and neither at the same time. It's just like I said, you could tell from this entire half an hour, I have nothing but praise to sing about this game. It really is excellent. If you've not tried it, seriously, at least for me, throw down a rental on it at least. Seriously, I would recommend just buying it, and if you don't like it, I will take responsibility for this. This is a game where I recommend, and if you don't like it, I apologise, but seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you? No offence intended, but seriously, what is wrong with you? Because it's just excellent. I mean, if you don't like really hard games, then fair enough, I will accept that. But if you like RPGs, if you like excellent games, if you like excellent RPG games, this is the game that you should have already played. Chances are you already have played. And if you're like, well, I don't have a console, which is why I've not played it, that's a fair enough argument. But seriously, if you're on my Steam, I better fucking see you playing it when it comes out. Otherwise, that argument is not going to fly. I'm fucking serious as well, I'll be looking. So, nothing but praise to sing, and I could go on for even long. I could go on for another half an hour about all the different things about it. I've barely scratched the surface of what is Dark Souls, but like I said, there's so many elements to it, and it's just a fantastic game. It took me 100 hours the first time I went through it. Now, that's a long time. It doesn't take everybody 100 hours to get through it the first time, but it took me 100 hours. I wanted to see everything that I could, and even then, I didn't join every single covenant. I tried to, but not every single covenant. I missed out on, I think it was two complete areas, and I went to every area I possibly could, and I still missed 2 areas. I think it was some tree type area I missed out on, and people will know what I'm talking about. Some possessed tree type zone. I can't remember the exact name of it. And I think there was another area that I missed out, or I didn't fully explore. I can't remember where it was, but the game is just an exercise in throwing you into this hostile world and going, explore, survive. And it does it so well. It really was. Skyrim stole the spotlight last year, and I have nothing against Skyrim. Some people think that I've got something against, Elder Scrolls games because of what happened with Oblivion stream one time. I won't get into that. But I don't. I really enjoyed Morrowind. I really enjoyed, like, Daggerfall when it came out in the day and stuff like that. So I have nothing against Elder Scrolls games. I like Skyrim. I've got nothing against Elder Scrolls games. But Skyrim stole the spotlight in 2011 for, like, the best RPG of the year, stuff like that. I can understand why, but in my opinion, it was Dark Souls, hands down. It really, really was. And I like my first-person games. You think, first-person RPG would surely sit better with me than what a third-person RPG would, but it doesn't. Seriously, Dark Souls swallows so well. A spoonful of sugar does not help the Dark Souls medicine go down. It's unrequired. It is sweet enough as it is. And I think that's as good a point to end it, guys. Seriously, a strong recommendation. If you've not played it, rent it. If you can't rent it because you don't have a console, then seriously, when it comes out, if you don't enjoy it, feel free to blame me, because I won't give a fuck. To be completely honest, I won't, because it's like, well, I'm sorry you didn't like it, and I'm sorry you bought. Do you know? I'm sorry you bought it. If you bought it on my recommendation, then you didn't enjoy it. You know, I actually do give a fuck about that. I'm only joking, but you know, at the same time, like, I just can't understand if you think you might like it. You know, I mean, if you bought it and you go, well, I don't like RPGs, and I bought it on your recommendation, then it sucked OTG. It's like, well, what the fuck if you don't like RPGs? What were you expecting? But if you like RPGs and you like a tough challenge, then there's no reason why you shouldn't have already played it. No reason why you should play it right now, unless, like I say, you don't have a 360 or a PS3. In which case, there's no reason why you shouldn't buy it on release when it comes out. Seriously, give From Software, which is the company that made it, From Software, give From Software your money, and they will give you 100 hours or more. Seriously, once you've finished it, you can go back and play it again on New Game Plus, and amazingly, it gets harder. It's like, what the fuck? And I think I think it just scales up from there. It's like New Game Plus Plus. It's or some shit like that. It's a bit like Diablo style, where it just gets harder and harder and harder to the point where you're going, why the fuck am I doing this to myself? But it really is a fantastic game with so much to see, so much to do. Somebody linked me a video on YouTube the other day where somebody was complaining about how Dark Souls looked. It's a gorgeous looking game that can go bollocks. It's a fantastic looking game for this generation. It really is. Really, really nice. It looks great, it sounds great, it feels great, it is great. It's just, like, everything you can mention about it is praiseworthy. It really, really is. Just, like, I know I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but like I say, it does get my strongest recommendation. It really does. If somebody said to me right now, what is the game that you would throw your support behind the most, that you could recommend most highly, it would be Dark Souls. Seriously, it would. I mean, Armored Core 5 came out the other week. I've barely touched it. I don't care. It's from Software. I want to give that company. I want that company to survive and do well. So I threw 40 quid at Armored Core 5, and I didn't give a fuck if I ever played it or not. I just wanted to give them more money. That's how much I love that game and company. Seriously. I mean, there's Dragon's Dogma coming out this month, I believe, from Capcom, and they've borrowed quite heavily from both Dark Souls and Skyrim. Clever Capcom. Clever boys. You know, if I sat down to make an RPG right now, and I was like, what is the most popular shit? How could I make this the best game? You know, what could I borrow most heavily to make it the best game? Well, if you take elements of Skyrim and elements of Dark Souls, and you take some of your own shit, you know, 1/3 Dark Souls, 1/3 Skyrim, 1/3 your own shit, seriously, I don't understand how you're going to bollocks that one up. It remains to be seen. It remains to be seen, and I will no doubt have it on topic for Dragon's Dogma when it comes out. But, like I say, Dark Souls instills a giddy fanboyishness in me that makes me want to throw money at games from that company, whether I play them or not. It makes me want to play any game that is even remotely close to Dark Souls, and it makes me want to buy a PS3 just to play Demon Souls. Seriously, guys, let me know. I mean, a lot of folk have said Demon Souls is great, but let me know just how great Demon Souls is, and you know what the differences are, because I'm on the edge at the moment. I'm really, really tempted for a PS3 just to play Demon Souls. I'm getting antsy for more dark soul-y, Demon Souliness. So, do let me know the strong points of it, because I don't need any more reason, but seriously, tip me over the edge, because, well, saying that, I'm not going to buy a PS3 until later on this year anyway. I'm going to wait for the second. There'll be a price drop in summer, won't there? And there'll probably be a price drop at Christmas. I think I'm going to wait till Christmas and get one then, so. But still, I want more reasons to get a PS3, I do. But, yeah, like I said, I could go on for another half an hour, guys, about all the different bits and bobs, you know, some really specific encounters about Dark Souls, but I don't need to. I don't want to spoil it for you. I don't. I want you to get in game and just figure it out yourself and just explore it. It's just a fantastic world. It really is. You can just throw yourself into that game, and it genuinely feels like for the 2 weeks or more that you're in that game, you are in that game. It's a epic quest, and you're hunkered down in this hostile world of hostility. Like, just survive and live and explore and enjoy. And for the 2 weeks, seriously, that is the 2 weeks I played Dark Souls last year. I can't think of a more enjoyable 2 weeks that I've had in gaming for a long, long time. It really was fantastic. Like I say, it reinvigorated the 360 for me. So like I say, like I've said many times this time at this video, I can't sing its praises more highly. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you get around to playing Dark Souls if you have not done so, or at least do so when the PC version is out. And I'll catch you next time, dudes. See ya!